Tap into the Ross Cloud podcast. We'll be with you guys in just a moment with our special guest, Joseph C. Wade III, Joseph S.C. Wade III, author of A Love Letter to Nubian Queens, a look into the heart of a black man. You don't want to miss it. Tap in, tap in. Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Ross, and this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast. We really do appreciate it. Listen, we have a very special guest with us. He is no stranger to the Ross Cloud Podcast. And we've had this gentleman on before, and we want to make sure that we give him another opportunity to really delve deep into his book. We have the author Joseph S.C. Wade III. He is the author of the book A Love Letter to Nubian Queens, a look into the heart of a Black man. As you can see, this cover is the cover of the book is absolutely amazing. You see the detail, the purple royal, and it's a beautiful book. So make sure you guys go out and pick this up. All right, Mr. Wade, how are you, sir?
Doing great, Ross. Good to see you, man.
Hey, man, great to see you too, man.
So proud of you, my brother.
Man,
so
thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you so much, man. It's a long way from Auburn Station, ain't it?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
I love it, man. I'm again, man. I wanted to tell you thank you again for gracing us with your presence here on today on the Ross Cloud Podcast, man. To come again to kind of talk about the book again. We got into it just a little bit, but I felt like it was a lot we missed out on, and
a little more meat on the bone.
Yeah, we could put a little bit more meat on this conversation, man.
Right.
And as I stated before, the texture, the color, it's a good feel on the cover too, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a little bit about that. Who did your cover for your book?
Actually, it was the publisher by the name of William Lee from Lee's Press.
Okay.
He did the mock-up and got me the smooth texture on the cover.
Yeah.
I just told him exactly kind of what I wanted to see, which was a young lady on the seashore. And he took it and ran with it.
Yeah, he did. So he actually did the artwork and everything, man.
Yes.
That's wow, man.
Yes.
Amazing. Is this a Black publisher?
Most definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
man,
he's out of Charlotte, I believe, right now.
Okay, cool. Shout out to you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You did an amazing job. Good work on this. So you just pretty much told him your vision and he ran with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man.
Absolutely.
It's a very, very beautiful title too. A love letter to Nubian Queens. A love letter. So is this book kind of comprised of different letters?
Absolutely. Actually, those were written, starting about age 20.
Wow.
To, I think the latest one in the book was probably written maybe when I was about 45, 44. But yes, it's text messages, written letters with pen and paper. Sometimes just remembrances of verbal conversations.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's go even deeper. So the inspiration behind it was it different relationships along the way? Would you say? Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The originator, of course, was my first love. Just wanted to show a different side of me, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of progressed into the different phases of my life. Having to deal with marriage at 22, and then divorce around after 15 years. So what is that? 37. And then that period of turmoil in between, and then finally getting to the place where I could love again, and still in that struggle that was still there. But yeah, man, it's been over 24 years of actual writing per se.
Wow. So I thank you for taking the time to kind of tell us about the book just a little bit. If you want to go even deeper, you can. Especially the part from the heart part, because I think sometimes as Black men, sometimes we get a bad rap when it comes to love.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I did a few of these actually came from. Remember back on the computer when you could just you could type in stuff. I forget what it was, blogging.
Okay, yeah.
Some of it is actually blogs.
So I
when I would blog a few of the things, it was like some of the feedback I would get. One that really stands out to me is somebody actually accused me of being on the down low. because I could talk from my feelings, express myself. So I was like, dang, this some stuff. So the reason I bring that up is because a lot of times we as Black men, we get that persona, or it's placed on us that we really don't have feelings, that we can't express our feelings without being, a little shaky. I'll put it that way.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So my thing is, because I'm articulate, because I can speak from my heart.
Yeah.
That's where the book really originated from. It was just telling my truth, so to speak, and desiring relationship. Well,
what's your thoughts on toxic masculinity?
Toxic masculinity.
What are your thoughts? I don't know if you've ever heard of it before.
I have.
What's your thoughts on it? And the only reason I'm asking that is because from the standpoint of what you said a few minutes ago, when you said, I think you brought reference to us not being able to show our feelings.
Correct.
We have a hard time like really delving into our feelings and saying how we really feel about something.
Right.
So I guess from that standpoint, then,
yeah, I think the what makes it toxic, so to speak, from a female's perspective or from the cultural's perspective, is one where we come across as not caring or come across as being just straight up hard all the time. I think the one thing that really bothers me, so to speak, is the lack of identity but from who we really are as Black men.
I got you.
Everybody likes to put labels on us. We get labeled going in, we get labeled coming out.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is, man, our masculinity is not toxic when it is pure, coming from a true place of understanding who you are.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to understand who you are before you actually confront or deal with the rest of the world. So it comes across as being hard or callous, but it's not that. It's just being a man.
I like that.
Just being a man.
I like that. Forgive me, brother. I'm around here messing with lights. It's constant working with lights. So forgive me, man. I don't mean to distract you in any kind of way. That's a great answer.
Not at all.
Yeah, that's a great answer on that. I wanted to make sure that I plugged that in because I want the folks to kind of see you as a well-rounded individual.
Yes,
not
sir.
only from being an author, but you also are a minister as well.
Correct.
And to be able to write this book like this, there had to be another side of you too. You know what I'm saying? We know that spiritual should be kind of the way that we move in our life anyway.
Of course.
But I like the fact that when you wrote this, you came from a human standpoint too.
Exactly.
I think that's the right word I want to use. Could you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is the vulnerability piece. Like I said, whenever you share who you are on the inside, it's like you're stripping away your outer shell. You're stripping away that outer shell, that wall that we place just to get through life, so to speak. As a matter of fact, my pen name is Hugh Man Black.
I like that, man.
In other words, Hugh Man. I'm a human. Don't come with me as a beast or that figure that causes so many people to be intimidated. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
But being a human being, I'm Black.
Yeah.
I'm Black. You have to respect the richness and the culture that I come from. Don't just pigeonhole me and say, "Oh, you just that dude," or it's a certain nuance to it. Hugh Man Black has been my pen name, and that just shows that we talk about that vulnerability. When I originally wrote the book, or was going to put it in book form,
sure.
I was kind of hesitant but putting my name on it. You know what I'm saying?
Why was that? Why?
Like I said, because I was kind of hiding behind who other people perceived me to be.
Oh, got you. Okay.
And I wanted to make sure that what was in the book was authentic.
Okay, understood.
So that's where that comes from.
Understood. Yeah, because people can give us a hard time, especially if they know us from our past.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I can kind of get that. Tell me something that you possibly learned from writing this book, whether it's I think you kind of said it, but from the standpoint, what did you learn about relationship as you were putting the pen to paper with writing this book? And not only that, about yourself.
Right.
About yourself, Joe.
Right.
What did you learn from that?
I think the biggest thing, Ross, is relationship wise.
Yeah.
You have to start from knowing who you are at that moment that you're writing.
Yeah.
You know, when I look back at the book, and I really hadn't picked it up in almost a year and a half, 2 years.
Since you wrote it? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, and looking back at the book, I'm like, man, that was some pretty good stuff. You know, the kind of the way God blessed me to weave some words together and, you know, make sure it made sense.
Yeah.
The self piece of it is where you are right now in your growth, in your struggle to be more mature, the growth that we talk about.
Yeah.
It marks different landmarks in their life.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, man, it was all about roses and you know what I'm saying? that sigh you get when you that's the one I love, you know, the starry eye.
Oh yeah, I got you.
But then as it progresses, as you grow up, and the two hemispheres of our mind actually start to communicate. Because a lot of people don't know. The male mind doesn't communicate, the hemispheres don't communicate until age 25.
Oh, wow.
So me starting to write this book at age 20, you know, having those different little anecdotes, different text messages and whatnot.
Yes.
Different love letters that we actually penned.
Yeah.
I was just mainly going for my emotional side.
Yeah.
I really wasn't dealing with the structured portion of my brain. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it is in the first part of the book is flowery.
I got you.
It makes people, you know, you kind of get that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got you.
But as it progresses, you'll see that there's more of a progression in me.
Yeah. So it's true so would it be fair to say that possibly a woman's cognitive behavior, that part of the mind probably matures faster than ours?
Most definitely.
Because I heard you say 25. So I guess for
women, it's actually about 18, 19.
Is it really?
Yeah, their two hemispheres are communicating.
I got
now. Plus, you know, whenever I've been in the school system for 27 years. Whenever you look at the difference between male and female students, the females will talk more. They have more conversation within their groups. And they can have multiple conversations going on at once.
Yeah.
Whereas little boys, you know, we making grunting noises. Woo, you know, that kind of stuff. We're just making noises.
Good point. Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest, you know, there's a difference, man. Yeah. And we have to revel in that difference rather than placing everybody within one little box.
I got you.
Let's revel in the difference between male and female.
Yeah.
Let's revel in the difference between the way we communicate with one another and how we communicate with women.
I got you.
You know, I think the biggest thing is, I've heard it said before that men play at love for sex, whereas women play at sex for love. You know, we're still trying to get to love, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we're going at it from different angles, from different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, something that you said that in today's society, the way it's portrayed, though, it seems like women have become more aggressive sexually, and I don't know from the standpoint if that could be because of what's being pushed in the music now, what's in the forefront, the things that we see, which is a great segue for me to ask you this question. What do you think the problem is today between men and women? You know, boys, the times are different.
Most definitely.
It's you know, it's a different day that we live in.
Yeah.
And so I guess this question could be kind of broad if you want it to be, because there are some of us that have those core values that we grew up with, and we still hold on to those.
Correct.
And then now we have a different generation now where the focus is a little different.
Right.
The focus is a little different, but I don't want to get off my I don't want to go on a tangent, basically. So I want to stick to the question. What do you think the problem is from that standpoint? What is the biggest thing from your perspective that you see in order for relationships to be a whole lot better between men and women, if you would?
No, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the biggest thing is,
and I know we have evolved as humans.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? We evolved. evolution is necessary for growth. I get all of
Mhm.
that, but I just want to ask from your perspective, your thoughts too.
Yeah.
on that.
Coming from a kid that was raised by baby boomers.
Mm.
As a matter of fact, my parents, when I was born, dad was 50 and mom was 40.
Wow.
So, a lot of folk would say you were raised by grandparents nowadays. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
They gave me a certain structure or a certain foundation that said men do this, women do that.
Mm.
And I think that's that's not even say the problem, but I think that's where some of the conflict comes in,
I get it.
because we haven't dealt with, as they call it now, gender roles.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The man is the head of the household,
Mm-hmm.
Not meaning that he is the end all be all.
Right.
That just means that he's responsible for the household.
Mm. Mm.
So if things go awry, God ain't looking at the woman per se.
Yeah.
He's checking with the man.
Wow.
What did you do wrong? How did you think about these certain situations?
Yeah.
Did you confer with me?
Mm.
The other thing is, men and women today have a difficult time with a word that's really going to be dirty. Submission.
Ooh.
Nobody wants to be submitted to anyone anymore.
Nah.
The biggest thing is we are refusing to submit to God.
Mm. Mm.
It goes God,
Mm-hmm.
Christ, Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
man, woman, child.
Mm.
We screwed up that order because man decided, oh, I don't need God.
Mm.
I'm a God of my own.
Mm.
I've set my Invictus. I set the sails.
Mm.
I'm the master of my fate.
Mm.
Whereas we've forgotten that God is the one that places here.
Mm-hmm.
He is the potter. We are the clay.
Mm-hmm.
We've decided that we want to make God who we want to make him so we can be comfortable.
Mm.
So that's why we don't submit.
Mm.
But if we submit, the man submits to God. When he submits to God, his woman now can say, I can submit to him because there's somebody over him.
Mm-hmm.
Not that a woman is going to follow blindly. I don't say that at any means.
Right.
But as long as that man is working, giving his life and submission of his life to God,
Mm-hmm.
then that woman can find her place there.
Mm-hmm.
And her place is not underneath,
I got you.
but beside that man.
Okay.
God made woman from the rib of Adam,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
the foot bone,
Right.
not the head bone, but from the rib, so they could walk along beside each other.
Mm.
But whenever God wants to know what's going on with the relationship, he says, man, you're responsible.
Yeah.
What we going to do?
Yeah.
Joshua, as for me and my house,
Yeah.
we're going to serve the Lord.
Yes.
So, it's just about the man being the responsible for what happens in that household.
I got you.
And I think that submission is the word that people are refusing to go along with.
Mm.
You see that less and less frequent within marital vows now. Submit. Man, that's a dirty word nowadays.
Not anybody doing that no more.
Right.
It's almost like equal playing field now, almost.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense,
Exactly.
it seems that way because nowadays, like I was saying earlier, we living in a world today now where you have all of this equality.
Right.
And sometimes your wife might make more money than you.
Absolutely.
So that changed the dynamics of
It
the
does.
relationship too. So how do you think that how do we work through that as men without feeling like we're losing our role
Mhm.
as a leader in the home? How does that work for us? Like, I think you have to be a pretty secure man too.
Oh, most definitely.
But I'll let you answer that.
Yeah.
From your perspective, how do we navigate through that as men? Not all men,
Mhm.
but some men whose the wife has taken the front role as it pertains to the financial status,
Correct.
because women are in leadership roles now,
Correct.
in executive companies,
Mhm.
CEOs of companies,
Right.
and I think it's great.
For
Don't
sure.
get me wrong, I love it, but I want to know from your perspective, how do you think we should handle that as men?
I think the biggest thing is we have to come back to the ideal that man is the provider. If man is the provider, then that means that even though he doesn't make the same amount of money, he's still, once again, responsible for what happens financially in the home.
Yeah.
I think that once again, it takes that submission by the woman to say, he's going to make the best decision for us when we get together and discuss things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you hit on the subject that I live with every day. My wife makes more money than I do. You know, and it's been that way since we got together, since the time we met.
Wow.
God has allowed me to respect her or to love her. And then she has gotten to the place where from the beginning that she respected me, respected the manhood in me, respected the leadership in me.
Right.
I think that's like, once again, women have to submit because the man has submitted to God. If we can control who our God really is, who we look to be our God. You know, our God can't be that almighty dollar. You know, capitalism in America really has taken the place of quite a few deities. You know, that almighty dollar. It says in God we trust, but I think sometimes the God that we trust in is what's on that green. On that green paper.
Without a question.
You know what I'm
Without
saying?
a question.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. Once you understand who you are and whose you are, that puts a lot of things in perspective, man.
Yeah.
You know, we strive against these questions that come up in our everyday lives based on where people have missed the mark. And they've just missed the mark in regards to who God really is to them and through them. So once we figure that out as a relationship, because that's the most important relationship.
I agree.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And all these things will be added unto you. I think that a lot of times, man, we're looking for the things. And we use God as like that big slot machine in the sky. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, God.
Yeah. One more time, Jesus.
One more time, Jesus. I need a hit today.
There you go.
I got you.
So, you know, I think that has a lot to do with it, man. Plus, I'm just speaking from a Black perspective.
Sure, absolutely.
Black women, they get a few more opportunities than Black men because they meet two of the affirmative action points. You know, woman and Black. Plus, you know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there are a lot of things stacked against Black men. Especially here in America. And I think the biggest thing is Black women can't buy into that. You know, this Black man, he only is, like I said, when it comes to emotions, you know, we're emotionless, but that's not the case. I think if I could, in regards to relationships, man, and I touched a little bit on in the book, in the latter portion of the second phase. Whenever a man loves someone, we really love. It takes something for a man to say, I love you, and he means it. You know what I'm saying? And then whenever that heart gets broken by what he loves, oh man, you ain't gonna do that again.
No.
Because we got to protect that. And in protecting that heart, what happens? We become hard. We become calloused. We become jaded. We'll see a good sister, but we always thinking, if we haven't forgiven, we always thinking, now what's her angle? What's she trying to come from? What is she looking for? Because we haven't forgiven. That last hurt. So we've got to grow beyond that. We have to forgive. It took a minute, but I had to forgive my first wife, man. I had to forgive that. And then I had to forgive me. Because once again, the onus fell on me as being responsible in that household. I let some things slide that I shouldn't have. I did some things that I shouldn't have, not from a cheating standpoint, but just from being a leader within the house. So forgiveness was big, man. And if we can't forgive, then that causes the next relationship to be worse than the first relationship.
I agree.
Because forgiveness is a way to climb a mountain. Unforgiveness pushes us down that same mountain.
Oh, that's good stuff. Man, we don't went into relationships, so you got me now. I want to ask all kind of questions to you now, man.
Yes, sir.
So and let me ask you this: we know in the scriptures of old Solomon and David that had concubine. Polygamy was at its height.
Correct.
During that time, and we still see some folks living their lives that way now.
Right.
I want to know your thoughts from your perspective. and just from a gauge of, from I guess a spirit, I just would say a spiritual walk too, with God. What are your thoughts about polygamy and those that say God ordained this, that this is the way it should go, and everything? I just kind of want to hear your heart and your thoughts about that.
Right. I know that,
and I know we're talking about a love letter with a black.
I saw
a black,
but it's all in there.
But okay,
it's all in there.
Okay, good stuff.
There.
Okay, so
the reason why I say that is because God never ordained man to have multiple wives. Keep in mind, at creation, there was Adam and there was Eve. One on one. Two become one. All right. So this is one thing I used to do that the guy hit me up during Valentine's Day a few years back. If you hold up two fingers,
yes,
and I hold up these two fingers just like this, you see two. But at a certain perspective, when I turn it to this, I only have one view, one perspective. It's still two fingers, but when I turn it, it's still just one, because you only see one.
Yes, sir.
So we have a hard time in regards to two becoming one. God allows some things, but that doesn't mean he ordained the same thing that he's allowed. It's kind of like whenever you are a parent, you have a child that you say, listen, I want you to do your homework. Then after you do your homework, you may have some time to go outside and play. Well, some days the parent may say, you've done a good job. So does that break the law, saying that you don't have to do homework first? Sometimes that parent will say, don't worry about the homework tonight. We're going to go out and celebrate. Right?
Yes, yes.
So does that mean that the parent did something wrong? Does that mean that we got a chance to question God because he allows man to do some things that are supposedly not within the law or outlined? You catch what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whenever you think about Solomon, especially, and David, Solomon married some women that were political marriages to make things stay okay between king and king.
Understood.
That's what I'm saying, between kingdom and kingdom.
So is it fair to say that during that time, it was kind of like a rite of passage? If you, whatever the king said, the king go. Whatever.
For sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
So in that sense, how can I say this? It was a rite of passage. And, when I think about, and I just hold on to that thought.
Yes.
When I think about a monarchy, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like the perfect way that God would want us to live our lives. Almost. I know it's a lot of turmoil that goes within that.
Right.
And so I guess and I don't want to sound simple-minded when I say this too, but I'm really just asking a general question. Like, do you think God gives them a pass because of that? And I know they got punished, and a lot of times the punishment we didn't see. David lost his son.
For sure.
A lot of fighting within his family dynamic, and it carried on over into his lineage.
Exactly.
He saw this, children out of wedlock, just a lot, just a lot. And we even see ourselves as men going through some of that turmoil from having those multiple wives.
Yes.
So I guess what I'm saying is, what I'm asking is, so it was just like a rite of passage. I think I said it already.
Yeah, so to speak. But what I'm saying is kind of look at it like this. Whenever you have a law,
and I don't mean to sound redundant either, though.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Whenever you have a law, the judge can say, I forgive you by saying you can have probation rather than sending you to prison or putting you in jail, so to speak. By the same token, God sometimes says, okay, they ain't quite ready for this. I see their sin. I'm not excusing their sin.
Sure.
But what I will do is I will delay the repercussions and the consequences.
I got you.
Now, see, man, on the other hand, we don't see that that's God showing us mercy. We'll say, oh, we got over.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get over. God just delayed the consequences. So sometimes, even as a parent, once again, God is our heavenly Father. Even as a parent, you'll see your child do something wrong.
Yeah.
Now, if they're running out in front of the street, immediately you go and get them.
Got you.
because that's death that's right there knocking on their door.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other things where you say, okay, you really don't believe that you're doing your homework matters.
Mm.
So I'm just going to say, okay, all right, you didn't do your homework, your grade slipped. So now you don't get that car at 16. You got to wait till you 17.
Yeah.
So it's like a delayed punishment, so to speak.
I love it.
But it's still going to be there unless we what? Fall under mercy.
I see what you're saying.
And grace.
Yeah.
Just as a parent will have grace on their child.
Yeah.
Have mercy on their child.
Yeah.
That's the way God does us.
So what are the limits? Switching gears now. What are the limits on the bed being undefiled?
My brother.
How far,
my brother.
How far does that go? Should we be inviting others into our bedroom? Should we be?
No. Once again, what did I say in regards to God creating man and woman?
Gotcha.
He created one man for one woman.
Mm-hmm.
The marriage bed is undefiled.
Okay.
Between the two.
Right.
Male, female.
Right.
Married in their bed.
Gotcha.
Now, you don't bring no third party into that. You don't bring a third or fourth party into that.
I love it. I
see, because look now.
Yeah.
Anything with two heads is what? A monster.
Yes, sir.
I don't want no monster up in my room. I'm trying to have peace when I go home. PEACE. Right?
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
By the same token, women don't want a bunch of helter-skelter.
No.
See, because let's look at it. Let's look at it.
Thank you for answering this question too, very honestly, because I really wanted to answer it because I wanted to get your response off of it.
For sure.
I appreciate that too.
For sure. Think about it, man. Abraham, he had a wonderful wife named Sarai.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when her name was Sarai, he was still Abram.
Yeah.
All right. So Abram and Sarai, God done promised him he's gonna have some kids.
Yeah.
He's gonna have one child that's gonna bless, and then he's gonna have many children after that. Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, Sarai was like, "Look, Abraham, why don't you go ahead and go into our handmaid? Then she'll have a child for us."
I got you. Yeah.
Okay. Abram was like, "Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You good with that?" Because the Bible don't say all that, but I think we can transliterate a little bit and say,
I got you. Yeah,
you sure about that, baby?
Yeah.
So he went ahead and went with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
When the child showed up, there became animosity between Sarai and the woman that he had the child with, which was her handmaid.
Okay, got you.
All of a sudden, you got problems in the house.
Yeah.
Catch what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So that's the kind of thing that, we don't want to broach that because God has said one man, one woman, married.
Mm.
You leave and cleave as a husband. You leave your family and you cleave to the wife that God has given you.
Right.
Why do you want to add some foolishness to that? From the flesh standpoint and carnality, dude, what? Two? Are you serious?
Are you keeping it real? Yes,
but from a spiritual sense, no, bro. That's the death. That's the death of that relationship.
Hey, I appreciate
that is truly the death of that relationship, man.
I really do appreciate you for answering that very honestly from a spiritual standpoint and a very honest, transparent human standpoint.
Oh, yes, sir.
I appreciate that,
yes,
man.
Sir. See, because, man, we live in the world. We're not of the world, but we live here.
I love it.
We get affected by sin. We get affected by our surroundings. That's why we have to repent on a daily if we're going to live with Christ. But what I'm saying is some of that stuff that we see on TV or is thrown up by the media, man, we can't live like that. God didn't intend that mess to be for real for us. Some things we don't even have to deal with.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service, right? Mm-hmm. So we got to present our bodies to God.
Yeah.
He wants our spirits to be right because he is spirit.
Yeah.
And we must worship him in spirit and in truth. But he also knows that he made a body. Mm-hmm. So we got to present that body based on what the spirit says. The other thing is our spirit, where is that? Is it in our heart or is that in our minds? Mm-hmm. Well, I say it's in our minds based on Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to what? This world, but be ye transformed by what? The renewing of your mind. So there's certain things that we deal with on a carnal or worldly basis that starts to taint us, that takes us away from the likeness and image of God, which we were created in. So to get back to that image and likeness, we look like what God looked like.
Yeah.
That's the image. But the likeness, we got to renew our minds to think like him.
Gotcha.
We got to do that. So that's why it says in Romans 2, hey, don't bend to the way the world wants you to bend. Be different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be your own person. Be an individual.
I love it.
But let's be an individual for Christ.
Yes.
Because that seems to be the non-norm.
I got
being Christ-like.
Yes. Yes. All right. I thank you. I thank you for giving us a quick little Bible study too, my
Yes, sir.
Church City, man.
I will be receiving my offering later on. No.
So I want to double back.
Yes, sir.
And we get back into the essence of the book, A Love Letter, and I am on page 10.
Okay.
And I like that. I actually like this right here. It says chocolate fantasy, warm and sweet.
Yes, sir.
And I love it because we all love chocolate.
Hallelujah.
We all love chocolate. We really do.
Mm-hmm.
Dark chocolate, light chocolate, regular chocolate. We like some chocolate.
Yes, sir.
And we got it all in our race.
Correct.
And it's beautiful.
Yes.
So if you would, now listen, y'all got to buy the book, but I want Joseph to read, if he doesn't mind. You mind?
No, not at all.
If you would, he's going to read Chocolate Fantasy, Warm and Sweet, and then give us kind of like, a backstory on this, if you would. All right.
Chocolate Fantasy, warm and sweet. There is a heat, not from the sun, but from the soul that burns for one so tender, luscious and sweet, one for whom my passionate heart doth surely beat. Her style, her grace, her smile, her taste, they have captured and engrossed my soul. Mwah, to my sweet,
yes,
sexy,
sir.
sensual angel.
Yes, sir.
The succulent essence of the beauty. Good morning to you, my darling true. Out on the ocean vast, there sails a ship with the dreams of men's souls, dreams of passion, shared with the one love of a lifetime. The captain of this unique vessel has the precise vision stored for every sailor true. Soft, gentle, succulent strength of heart, tender virtue of sincerest beauty of soul. My dream has a name and a delicious form. Love is her name, and golden chocolate is her dulcet facade. Good morning, beautiful. You know, a lot of times, man.
Yes, sir. Right on.
A lot of times, some of these.
Hallelujah. Hold on. I got to give you a hand cap on that, brother.
Hey, to God be the glory.
Love our sisters. We
Yes,
love
indeed.
y'all.
Yes, indeed.
Go ahead, brother.
I think the biggest thing is, though, sometimes you notice at the end I said, good morning, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was just my way of saying that I could say good morning without just saying good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
A lot of times, man, a woman just wants to hear what you really mean to her.
Mm.
She wants to hear how you really feel about her. What is it that really engrosses her to you?
Yeah.
You know, what aligns that heart with yours?
Yeah.
Are you just playing with that heart? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, man, it was just ways to say hello, you know, without being mundane or with the same status quo.
Yeah.
You know, it's always about growth, and it's always about letting that person you love know that today I didn't just wake up and say I love you.
Yeah.
I woke up and I still had the pleasure of your chocolate on my mind. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hot dog.
yeah, that's
People don't even say hot dog no more. I just went on and said it. Hot dog. Hot dog with a dog.
John Brown.
Yes, sir. So listen, we'll be right back more with Mr. Joseph Wade in this conversation as we're talking about a love letter to Nubian queens, a look into the heart of a Black man. We'll be right back right after this commercial break from Stuff Inside My Head.
Where I'm from, did nobody talk to no damn shrink. I know death. I smell death.
When you're a little girl, rejection that you don't recognize as rejection, it leaves a scar.
I was drawn to her nectar as a bee is to honey, and indeed her taste was sweet. My skin, my beautiful brown skin has been blessed by the gods, dipped in bronze and kissed by the golden rays of the sun. Man, the prison hurts, man!
All right, and welcome back to the Ross Cloud podcast with our author, a special guest, our author, Mr. Joseph C. Wade. And while we was on that break a few minutes ago, I heard something that you said that, you know, first of all, we were talking about money and money being the driving force behind why some of us do what we do for things. We're chasing things.
Exactly.
But you said something a few minutes ago. If you would, can you repeat that again as you was talking about you know, it really ain't so much about, I'll let you finish that.
yeah. You know, the thing is, man, I'm just so proud of where you've come from. Like you said, Augment Station, long time ago, my brother. And I'm just really appreciative of this opportunity. And it's not even about selling books. It's just about, man, sharing thoughts, sharing the love that we have for one another. Yeah. And then sharing that same love for your listening audience. Yes. Because, man, dollars only answer for some things. You know, you can't put a price on respect. Yeah. You can't put a price on relationship. But you know when you got it, it's real. Yeah. And it's priceless. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's never about selling books. I appreciate the opportunity. Yes. But man, it's about being real.
Yeah, you know? and this was really a work of art too. You can tell you're very passionate about your thoughts on this. And as we're going to continue to talking about, you know, this is a message from a Black man, his heart, talking about his heart. And this is a great segue to kind of go into letting you read another passage from your book here. And it's called "Love is Secure."
Right. Love is secure. It's this is the introduction, so to speak, of the different phases that I went through in compiling the text and the letters. Yeah. This is basically this portion of love being new and love being secure. Love is secure. I was 22 years old when I married the woman of color I thought was my lady to the end of time. She was the beauty that arrested my mind as no other had previously. The sun rose and set upon this graceful lady of color, whom I swore my love and devotion. She was to be my queen as I built my kingdom. Now, before I go any further, do you hear a lot of me, my?
I do.
That's part of the growth, because at that time, I wanted to be that breadwinner. Yeah. I wanted to be the person who put my wife in a place where she felt secure. I wanted to do all of these things. Yeah. I can't do that.
I got you.
In a relationship, it is not my responsibility, nor is it the woman's responsibility to ensure my happiness. We can't make people happy.
Yeah, come on.
Because happy is a fluctuating thing. happy about what happened today, upset about what happened the next day.
Yeah.
Happy about what happened this morning, upset about what went down last night. You know what I'm saying? So happiness is what happens to us.
Right.
You know, we have to share love. We have to share the joy of being in love.
Yes, we do.
And guess what, man? Being in love ain't something that lasts all the time.
No, that's right.
As much as I love my wife right now, my true wife, the God gave me,
Yes, sir.
some days I'm not in love.
Mm.
In love.
I like that. Before we get into that, though, let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
your beautiful relationship, my auntie, your beautiful wife, Carolyn.
Yes.
As you folks can see right here on the screen, his queen,
Mm-hmm.
that's standing beside him. If you would, let's talk about her. And I want to know from you, has she inspired this book? Any parts of this book at all?
Most
If you
definitely.
would.
She's the bulk of the third phase,
Ah.
which is, I think, is love found.
Mm.
This young lady, Terrelyn, she was the woman that made me smile,
Mm.
that made me feel secure without putting on airs.
Mm. And you smiling on that picture too.
Oh, for sure. Most definitely. And it's from the heart, man.
Absolutely.
You know,
see it.
she is, I thank God, 10 years younger than I am.
Okay.
And that wasn't something I was looking for. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I'm like, man, I don't know. But God blessed me with such a wonderful young lady. She is driven.
Mm.
She is caring and compassionate.
Yeah.
She is my ride or die, real
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
I went through something, man. I think it was in 2019, excuse me. We ain't been on it long. In 2019,
I got you, bro.
when I cracked a bone in my foot, man.
Wow.
And dude, I was in a walking boot for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then within those 6 months, there were times, man, when I couldn't walk. Real
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
I'm dragging that thing.
Yes, sir.
She saw that I was hurting, man. And this is
Yeah.
kind of woman that she is. She said, babe, would you like a walker?
No.
And I'm thinking to myself, a walker?
Walker.
I ain't that old. I don't do a walker. Man, she
man, I
brought one
love
of the
it.
books to the house.
Yeah.
And, you know, pride, men's pride, Lord have mercy.
God help us.
Woo.
Man.
So anyway, she brought that thing to the house and I
Yeah.
looked at it a couple times. I looked at it a couple times.
Yeah.
And then my foot was hurting. And I said, boy, you better use that walker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got up, man. I used that thing for like 4 of them months, bro.
Wow.
Real talk.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's the kind of woman she is. She saw a need.
Mm.
She met the need.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is truly my helpmeet.
Mm.
You know, she walks beside me.
Mm.
I love that woman. She
Yeah.
is truly my wife.
Yeah.
The first time I picked the woman, God picked that woman for me.
I got you.
That's my wife.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing that with us too, man. I want to give you a hand clap on that, brother.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. You shouting out your queen, man, like
Most
that.
definitely.
And outside of your wife, what other inspirations? Any authors that inspire you at all? You have any authors that inspire you to possibly write this?
You know,
At
to be
all.
honest with you,
Mhm.
man, I have a quote from William Shakespeare. I think in the very first page of the book.
Yeah.
It's I think it's sonnet number 15.
Yeah.
I've always read Shakespeare stuff, you know, not
Wow.
that, you know, lovest thou me, you know, with a rose by any name be called a rose, you know. Look, man,
Yeah, I got you.
it wasn't like that. It's just that
Understand.
I just kind of, you know, I like the way he threw them words together.
Oh, he did too.
So
Mhm.
definitely William Shakespeare from Love End. From a Gwendolyn Brooks
Oh, yeah.
was somebody who was simple in this way she approached her work,
Yes, sir.
but if you read between the lines, you could feel her
Mhm.
work.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
I do. Mhm.
Contemporary writers, I really can't say anything other than Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Oh,
Coates.
man. That brother bad.
Yes,
Woo.
yes.
Yes, sir.
I love I love the way he weaves the words together from the heart, especially in the book that he wrote to his son.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that's a wonderful book, man.
What's your thoughts about Toni Morrison at all?
I haven't read the stuff, but I've seen her movies, the adaptations of some of her books.
Yeah.
Great writer.
Oh yeah,
great writer. Yeah. I think that she really does convey a lot of the feeling and the emotion that women are going through.
Oh yeah,
and
kind of controversial for her time. But to us it wasn't controversial. To us it was
true.
Okay, this is facts.
Yeah,
her story is amazing. But
I think sometimes, man, people come into their maturity, their truth, and before a whole lot of folk can really understand that.
Yeah,
because they're not there.
Yeah.
So when you hear people say they were ahead of their time or they were behind their time, it was perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. That's absolutely right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, Joseph, this has just been an absolutely amazing conversation about your book, and I'm glad we were able to touch on so much.
I
wanted people to see every facet of who you are as a man. You know what I'm saying? From not even from just the author, but from a husband, even from a minister. I wanted people to see that the well-rounded individual, the whole man, if you would, and to be able to pour out your feelings and your emotions in a book like this, a look into the heart of a Black man.
And the other perspective in regards to being human Black, is I've been a football coach since I was age 18.
Absolutely.
So this ain't exactly something that you're gonna see on the coach's mantle behind him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it also goes to show that I do wear different hats.
Absolutely.
Coach. I've been in the school system as a teacher assistant for over 27 years.
Yes, sir.
I stepped away from that to recently. I'm working at Winston-Salem State instead of babysitting kids. I babysit a boiler. Right on. Being a minister in the church, we learn different hats like Dork and the Sound.
Oh Lord,
doing the lighting from time to time.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
God allows us to do and be so many different things that make up who we really are.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because what he does is he pulls out different aspects of who we are, so he can use us. To get us back to that likeness that we talked about previously.
If you would, before we close out, there is a title in here. I want to say is it called Hugh Love?
Say again?
Is it called Hugh Love? And I said that because of
Hugh, as in hue of love.
Hue of love.
Hue just being a different color. The color scheme, HUE.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Rather than HUGH.
Okay.
I went with HUGH, but based on the difference, nuances of the Black race in the color scheme, so to speak. I used to be one that was caught up on color myself.
Right.
Because, man, I used to like light.
I got you.
The caramel, so to speak. But once you go through and you figure out who it is, what person it is that really allows you to be you when it comes to relationship, being that one person that you're going to set your life aside to. It just so happens that my wife is chocolate, milk chocolate. I love that. But at one point in my life, caramel was it. At another point in my life, the little red bone was it. It was a yellow, so to speak. A high yellow, as we like to say.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing is it doesn't matter what hue it is, HUE.
I love that.
But we have to understand that we're all human.
I love it.
We're human beings.
I love it.
And human beings are going to make mistakes.
Yes,
human beings are going to upset you. Human beings are going to make you rejoice.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to make you cry from time to time.
Absolutely.
But we have to, once again, deal with forgiveness, understanding our identity and our roles. And man, I appreciate it.
Oh, man, absolutely. Listen, make sure you guys go out and get you a copy of A Love Letter to Nubian Queens, a look into the heart of a Black man. This is a wonderful piece of work that you put together. I have my copy at home,
Yes, sir.
and I have read. Me and my wife actually read a few pages together, and
Right
I
on.
constantly go back and use it as a reference to, so that we can continue. And not just for my wife, but just for our sisters in general. Just have an
Indeed.
admiration for our sisters and continue to love them and appreciate them.
Yes,
Because at the end of the day, we all in this together.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And to appreciate them even the more so. What a great way to appreciate our Nubian queens. So listen, ladies, men too, go out and get a copy. It's right around Christmas time.
Yes, sir.
So y'all can go pick up y'all a copy of this. Again, it's a beautifully done book. The texture of it is amazing. It's soft, just like our ladies. And Joseph gave a little wink for that one right there, brother.
For sure.
Because I'm over here rubbing it. It's beautifully done, though, brother.
I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
Can
Thank
you
you.
tell the folks how they can pick up their copy, Joseph, if you would?
Well, it's on Amazon, Books A Million. It's anywhere that you find books. You can find this book.
I love it.
I don't have copies to sell per se. Most of the time now, I'll just pass the book out and see, hey, if you like it, you like it. If you do, pass it on. If you don't, God bless you. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's not about that dollar figure, man. I like you said, I just wanted to make sure that women understood that not every man is after that booty.
I like that.
And they're more than just the next lay.
I love it. I love it.
And then men understand that you can still talk to your woman and make her melt
Yes.
without having to say, girl, I just want to get up in there.
I
what I'm
like
saying?
that.
So-
Romance.
Exactly.
I think romance is missing out of our culture too.
Yeah, definitely.
It's missing out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's not highlighted.
Yeah, it's not highlighted.
And
I won't say
applauded.
it's missing.
I don't think it's highlighted and
I agree.
applauded,
No,
because
it's not.
there are plenty of men that are romantic,
Very much so.
and then there's plenty of women that are romantic, and saying that that's what they want.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I think all women want to be romanced.
Yeah.
They want to swoon.
Oh yeah.
And just like, men, we want a woman to be like, that's my man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, you do want to feel that.
Oh, yeah.
I totally agree. But Joseph, man, listen, man, I want to tell you again, brother, if nobody else has told you, man, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm proud of you for putting such a masterpiece. And we're praying that you sell 1 million copies, man.
Hallelujah. We'll
This,
touch and agree on that. my
Yes,
brother.
sir. And this gets on the number one, the New York bestseller.
Yes, sir.
So you can do more of these events. Listen, again, make sure you guys go out and get you a copy of this wonderful book here, Love Letter to Nubian Queens, a look into the heart of a Black man. Joseph, I want to say thank you again, brother.
Thank you,
for
sir.
coming through. And we look forward for you doing some big things as you continue on this journey, man.
Hey, listen, before we go, I just want to say,
Sure.
despise not small beginnings.
Yes, sir.
Everybody had to start somewhere, but I am so glad that you started, because where you started is not where you are, and where you are is not where you're going to be. I love you, man, and I
Love you too.
appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being who you are.
Yeah.
Christopher Ross.
That's it, my brother. That's it. And so listen, y'all go get you a copy. That's just don't talk about it. That's be about it. That's support. That's support one of our own here. That's put a great deal of work together. Thank you again, Joseph.
Yes, sir.
So listen, for all of your media needs, make sure you check out the Mix Network LLC. You can go over and check them out, www.mixnetwork.com. You can follow the Ross Cloud Podcast on Facebook, on TikTok. You also can check us out on YouTube at the Ross Cloud Podcast 7722. You can check us out on our other collab page on YouTube at the Mix Network Ross Cloud Podcast collab. Make sure you like and subscribe to both of those pages, and we really do appreciate it. So listen, make sure you guys keep it locked and stay tuned. We have an upcoming, we got 2 great shows coming up real soon. We're going to be having Chef Nate Laster, who will be with us on Tuesday at 6 p.m. He's a vegan chef. I'm really excited about that one because he switched over from being a vegan chef. I think he was cooking. I'll let him explain. So I won't even go into detail, but you guys don't want to miss this. He's a vegan chef. He cooks, he chefs nothing but vegan. He's a dear friend, and I look forward to that one. And then coming up real soon, we'll have the brother Commanding General Yahanda, who is the leader of the ISUPK movement, the Hebrew Israelites. Looking forward to that. And you guys can, just keep it locked and stay tuned. All right. I thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Listen, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Ross. Make it a great day and keep being great. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Ross Cloud Podcast and to the Mixed Network Ross Cloud Podcast on YouTube. Keep being great. Peace.